Hello. Okay, I'm just continuing on machining this great chunk of metal down to 5/8 diameter, and this is the second one that I've done. So now I've taken the first one that I did, and I've put it in the 4-jaw chuck and dialed it in with a dial indicator, and I've put a center in this end, and I'm now machining off this chunk of metal here down to 25 thou above 5/8, and at the same time the little glance tool, this glands, I've only got 2 of those inserts, so I've already used one end, the end there, and what I did was I managed to get 4 more amounts of machining from that insert at that end by just grinding it with my diamond grinder, just cleaning up the radius, and I managed to get some extra life out of it. But now I've decided that I'm going to use this diamond carbide tool bit, and to rough down this diameter, and just to use the glance tool bit for the final finishing. So this insert, this brazed insert, I can take it out and just sharpen it up on the diamond wheel, and that can do most of the roughing, and it's not doing too bad. So that's what I'm doing at the moment, and so we will put that on there and that there, and we will do some cuts. Now I got it running at 850, 860, and of course the RPM drops down as soon as I put a cut on. I'm taking a 20 thou cut, approximately, just solely because the tool lasts a bit longer that way. So it doesn't take too long, really. It's very hot and mucky here today. I don't know what the temperature is. It's probably around about 23 Celsius, but it gets hot inside the shop. I've got when I had this garage built, I decided to have 6-inch walls, and so that gives me a pretty good I don't know what, I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, don't get old. Yeah, so it keeps the heat in the winter, but it also, I hoped it would keep the heat out during the summer, and it's not bad. I'm sure if it was 4-inch walls, I'm sure it would be a bit hotter in here. I've got pretty good insulation, and one of the things that I did do when I built this, or I didn't build it, I got it built, was I've got underfloor heating, hot water underfloor heating, and I'm really happy about that because it's nice and warm here in the winter months. It's just like being in your house. So, of course, everything comes with a price, and it wasn't cheap. So it drops down from 850 down to about 600, depending how tight I hold the carriage handle. If I let the carriage handle slip a little bit, like a clutch, it helps. It just means it's taking less material. It takes a bit longer to go along and complete a cut. I'm going to put a sender in each end of these shafts, and I'm going to, this is going through my mind, I think I'm going to turn the shaft between senders just as a project. I mean, it's not really important, except that it might be educational to some of the viewers. Of course, years ago, a lot of between center work was done in the late 1800s and early 1900s. So you'll be able to see how that goes. I think it's going to work out okay. I did the when I was building the C-line, of course that was done between centers on the crankshaft, and it came out really nice. A bit hairy at some points, but it all worked out in the end, and I believe that the C-line 4-cylinder engine that I've been working on for probably 30 years, it might run pretty good when it's all finished. Anyway, it's all working out pretty good, really. It's not like having a big lathe with lots of room to move things around. When I'm doing something, changing something on the chuck, or I sometimes have to take this right off to be able to get the revolving sender or get the drill chuck into the tailstock, because there's no room between centers on this little lathe. Can't really understand why Taig would come out with a longer bed version, or a modification that you could purchase a longer bed and install that, instead of messing around with all this CNC. I kind of was excited when I first heard about the CNC, the Taig CNC, but I've decided that it's really, unless you're going to be doing production work and small stuff, it's I don't know, I think it's a lot of money for something that's not, you can't even do anything between centers. There's no tailstock on it, so it's really basically just a automatic auto machine, a bar feed or whatever you want to call it. So I don't know whether they're very successful in selling these things, but I certainly wouldn't buy one. If you're doing small components and production stuff, it's not bad, I guess. But something like this, you might be able to do this in there. But there's no tailstock for support, so I don't know how you would cope, because there's no access to a tailstock on the end. So I think they could have, I think they should have concentrated on their little lathe and milling machine and maybe made a few nice features on there, rather than messing around with I don't think it's, I don't know. I shouldn't say. I shouldn't speak really. What do I know? See this some cheap Chinese brazed carbide tool bit. It's kind of standing up pretty well, really. I mean, I started with the full size on the white diameter there, and I haven't sharpened it yet, and it's still kind of cutting pretty good. Don't know how long that switch is going to last. The on and off switch. That's something you could do. Put some tropical clutch on there or something like that, so you didn't have to keep on stopping the motor. I can tell it's getting a bit harder to machine now. I can feel the pressure on the handle. I'll probably take it out. I'm getting sparks. I'll take it out and take it out and just give it a bit of a touch up. Don't take a minute. Okay. See how that goes. When I did the dovetail cutter, the locking screw for the insert, I drilled the hole and tapped it, and it was, I mean, it's just a small tap. I think it's might be I'm not sure exactly, it may be a metric, I'm not sure, but it would be disaster to, come on, that's it, be a disaster to go through all of this and then break a tap. So I think what I'm going to try and do is to, where the screw goes, where the thread is in the holder, I think I'm going to make that hole slightly bigger and make up a headed threaded bush, and put it in from the back end or from the outside diameter, so that the head is acting as an anchor when you tighten up the screw. And I've just Loctite it in, and I think I'll make it out of a different material, maybe even just mild steel, because I really don't want to go through all this just to screw it up, no pun intended, at the very last operation. So I think that's what I'm going to try and do. It should be doable. And then if the thread ever strips, you can always just heat it up slightly and drifted out and make a new one. That's one of the things that I'm going to try and adapt. Getting close to half an hour, I guess. What I'll do is I'll switch the camera off now, and when I'm all set up, ready to finish between centers, I'll take another video. So I'll call off now. Thanks for watching. See you later.